In elementary school, I was known as the throw-up kid. Like, I would just, like, after every lunch, I would just throw up, and, like, they would come to pick me up, and I would tell my mom, like, I'm not sick. I would just, like, vomit, and didn't understand why, but I would have no symptom. Emotionally and psychologically, like, it kind of, I guess, isolated me. My diet went from being pretty small to being just plain steak and plain chicken, or if I drank anything other than water, I would be like so drastically sick that I wouldn't even take any chances. Every time they just said that, here, take more medication, that this is gonna help, but I just couldn't handle it anymore.
He had high school, he played travel baseball, he got on the high school baseball team, he was captain of the Bay team, but then college came, and I couldn't control his diet at college, and he started to get sick and sick and sick and sick. Without the medicine, he's so sick, it's scary. And I wasn't sure if Adam was going to be able to make the trip.
Because, you know, after 20 years, not one doctor's ever told me they found something. And when he said that they had a blockage and that they were going to be able to fix it in, 2 to 3 minutes, I was just ecstatic from hearing that. 3 days out, I feel amazing. I haven't vomited. I could breathe like every other human being. It's just, I can't tell you how grateful I am with Dr. Noor.
Adam first came to me as a patient, complaining of most of his life vomiting after he was eating. What attracted me was the fact that he most likely had a curable condition that we could diagnose using electrogastrography.
Electrogastrography refers to the method of recording the stomach's electrical activity. The stomach has an electrical pacemaker. That pacemaker is very important for controlling the contraction waves that mix and empty the food we eat. So the technology has been developed over 20, 30 years, but only over the last perhaps 10, 20 years are we getting more medical uses from the electrogastrogram as we apply these methods to patients who have conditions which generally revolve around nausea.
When considering gastroparesis or a slow emptying stomach as a diagnosis, many of the tests that we need to do involve looking directly at stomach emptying. So for an example, he had had a gastric emptying scan that was abnormal, showing slow emptying. The next most important test to do was going to be the electrogastrogram, which is a measure of the gastric motility or electrical activity. Following the electrogastrogram, it was clear that he had an obstructed pattern that we call functional outlet obstruction, which is where the pylorus contracts at the same time that the antrum contracts, thereby prohibiting the stomach contents from leaving the stomach. Once that diagnosis is made, by doing a pyloric balloon dilation with a 20-millimeter balloon for a 4-minute period of time, we can cure the gastroparesis or the outlet obstruction. Once we made the diagnosis of functional outlet obstruction with Adam, we performed an upper endoscopy, and there was an immediate improvement in Adam's case. Prior to this, Adam could not eat very much at all without having to vomit his meal. Following the dilation that evening, he went out to a local restaurant and ate a very large bowl of beef or chicken stew, along with a large quantity of bread, salad, as well as a dessert, without having any nausea or vomiting, something he hasn't had the ability to do in almost his entire life.
So what is new and exciting for us is that when we find patients who have this normal rhythm but gastroparesis, we can now begin to offer a specific treatment of the pyloric spasm or dysfunction. And at this point, the treatments are injecting Botox, which relaxes the muscle, or placing a balloon in the sphincter and stretching the pylorus to make it weaker.
When my symptoms first started, they manifested in a feeling of intense fullness. As I felt really, really full, if I could, I set a timer on my phone just to remind myself to eat. I forgot what it felt like to be hungry. And one of the tests that made a big change in my treatment plan was the electrogastrogram. And the next treatment option that we tried was Botox injections into the pylorus. We wanted to repeat the Botox enough times to know that it would work repeatedly. We did surgery to essentially physically expand the pylorus, which replicates how relaxing the pylorus would have happened with the Botox applications. If it felt like 90% better between the medication and the Botox, it felt, almost as much better between the Botox and the surgery. I would say the best thing is that I don't have to plan my entire life in such great detail. If I'm hungry, I can eat. I feel hungry. I lead a normal life, and being able to eat the same things that other people are eating is a huge, huge difference.
The electrogastrography technology is very simple to use. You can perform this study. It automatically selects the appropriate minutes for analysis. It will provide you with a suggested diagnosis based upon the findings. It's performed by a technician in your office, so you really don't need a nurse or a physician to perform the study. And then the physician is able to sit down and overread the study and make an accurate diagnosis literally within 5 minutes of the completion of the study. The other advantage is it's reimbursed by most insurers. Between 30 and 48 patients worth of performing the procedure, you've actually paid off the equipment. And then can continue making these higher level diagnoses in your patients with chronic nausea, vomiting, or gastroparesis.